From Adrian, Michigan, on the campus of Siena Heights University, we have a crosstown rivalry. It's the first of our Tuesday night doubleheader, the Siena Heights Saints hosting the Adrian Bulldogs. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us alongside Rhett Boyd. I'm Brad Woznicki. Well, for the Siena Heights Saints, it has been a great start to the season, a 6-1 record so far, and that one loss was just by 2 points. For the Bulldogs, it's been a bit of an up-and-down season so far, but when you have this matchup, throw the records out the window.
Yeah, it's a crosstown rivalry matchup here in Adrian, Michigan. I think we're both teams early on in the season, but you're still trying to find yourself a little bit. Siena Heights has done an outstanding job getting out of the box here, 6 wins. Like you said, Adrian is still trying to find themselves a little bit. Throw the records out the window right now, because in a crosstown rivalry matchup, it is rivalry weekend, by the way. Anything can happen, so both teams got to play well here early.
And tonight's impact players feature a couple of players that not only know how to score the basketball, but know how to go to the glass. A couple of double-double players. And we'll start with the two-time Conference Player of the Year, Peyton Banks.
Yeah, Peyton Banks has been outstanding for Siena Heights. 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 times this season already she's eclipsed that 20-point mark, culminating with a season-high 34 versus Grace earlier this year. She can beat you on the inside and between the blocks. She can stretch the floor. She's knocked down 9 threes on the season as well. She gets off to a good start here early, commands that double team, commands that extra help from the defense. They'll set up her teammates for open shots on the perimeter.
And then turning our attention to the Adrian Bulldogs, a couple of double-doubles so far this season for Chelsea Palmer, one of the most experienced players on this Bulldogs roster. A little bit more on her shoulders, though.
Yeah, absolutely. She's averaging just under 15 points a game, but she's been very efficient, knocking down 53% of her shots from the field, but she's the only player for Adrian in double figures scoring this season. So it's important for her to get settled in early in this ball game, command that help, command that double team from Siena Heights. She's able to do that and allow her teammates to knock down shots, get some confidence from the perimeter. They're going to need a second, third, fourth player in double figures here tonight. They're going to come away with a big road win.
We're ready to go. These two teams are ready to go. We'll have the starting lineups and the opening tip coming your way on BCSN. Welcome back to the home of the Siena Heights Saints. Women's basketball will start off our night. The Saints hosting the Adrian Bulldogs. Siena Heights 6-1 so far. Adrian sitting in at 2-3. And as the starters are being introduced for tonight's game, we'll take you through the starting 5. Starting with the Adrian Bulldogs. Senior Katie Shannon. We have Kaya Warner. Riley Campbell averaging nearly 10 points a game. Chelsea Palmer, who we noted, averaging better than 14 a game. And Michaela Clement will round out the starting 5. Now for the Siena Heights Saints. Kiana Wan, number 1, does a little bit of everything for this Saints team, followed by Shakyla Parker, Madison Hamilton, Allie Miner, a very good distributor, and Peyton Banks. That's a look at your starting 5 for the Saints. These two teams did not meet in 2020, but excited to get things going again in this rivalry.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, win-loss aside, just playing your crosstown rivalry, it gets all the juices flowing here early in the season. You know, both these clubs, Siena Heights, we said, is off to a great start. In Adrian, they're right there 2-3, still trying to find themselves a little bit, find that consistency. You know, but like I said, it's rivalry week here in Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan. And why not? Let's throw it up here early in the season here at the women's basketball.
And the Bulldogs win the opening tip. Going to go to the baseline, the jumper a little bit short, but you'll take that look on the first possession.
Absolutely. You got a 10-foot jump shot by your best player. Open look, just didn't get it to go.
We'll see which team can be more physical here early on. Both love to get to the basket. And Kiana Wan gonna back it out. Left wing looking inside. Banks getting deeper and deeper on that low block. Tries to go around the defender. Couldn't quite get it to roll over.
Well, you like the look, though, that she got. Did a lot of her work early to get that deep position. Just couldn't finish over her shoulder.
Michaela Clement picked it up. Now right wing swung all the way around. Riley Campbell up top. Trying to split the defense, losing it. The Saints will take it the other way. A 4-out, 1-in look.
And Siena Heights has a height advantage on the inside with Peyton Banks and with Madison Hamilton. See if they go into some high-low looks to try to take advantage of that size inside.
And 1 for 3, buries it. Kiana Wan averages just under 6 points a game and just under 6 rebounds a game to go along with almost 4 assists.
Yeah, you said a little bit of everything out of her, and that's her second made triple of the season, so they get her going. It'll be big for this offense. They got a number of players who can knock down the three with regularity.
Absolutely. Your point about Wan there. She scored in double figures twice this season. You can add a little bit more to that scoring depth, you'll take it. Catch and shoot, and just off the mark. So, Michaela Clement looked for a three on the last possession, decided to put it on the floor. That time, was not hesitant from beyond the arc. And Payton Banks, that's an easy deuce.
Yeah, easy money on the inside there by Peyton Banks. Again, doing a lot of her work. Walked right down the lane line, buried the defender. Easy catch and finish.
Deep three is offline. Trying to track down the loose ball. It's out of bounds. Siena Heights basketball.
One thing Adrian's going to have to do defensively there with Peyton Banks coming down that lane, they're going to have to meet her at about the foul line area and just provide some resistance and see if she pulls up in the mid-post area, because she gets that deep in position and that low block. She's going to do what she's done all year long, and that's put 20-plus on the board with consistency.
2.5 gone by here in the opening quarter.
The adjustment Adrian's made, they went from man, now they're in a 2-3 zone to try to protect themselves on the inside.
Open in the corner for a moment. It's going to be a left wing three. And battle for the board, out of bounds. Bulldogs basketball. And there is Siena Heights head coach Sue Siljabek. This is her 18th season as the head coach of the program. Her team coming off a big 85-62 win over Cornerstone. That was a bounce-back win after the 43-42 only loss of the season to Concordia. We will hear more from Sue Siljabek at halftime here on BCSN. And trying another three. It's in and out this time for Clement. And up ahead, Clement with the steal.
Nice job keeping her head up, not hanging her head on the missed shot, but getting back to the other end and making a play.
Able to get in the lane. Nice bounce pass, but a little bit late on the decision. Siena Heights basketball. Nice recovery to disrupt that pass. Shakaya Parker.
That's a nice job by Shakaya Parker. Kind of help the helper concept. The post player kind of stepped up to help on the dribble penetration. She came down from her guard slot to deflect that basketball.
Saints looking to extend their early lead. You have a team like Adrian who's been up and down. All you can ask for is hustle as you try and figure it out. We're seeing that from the Bulldogs. Just haven't been able to get the shots to go down. And off the back iron, One tracks down the three. And finding the cutter, another layup this time, Allie Miner. And a timeout has been taken by Adrian. 6:17 remaining in the first quarter. The Saints off to a 7-0 start. 4 minutes in, and the Bulldogs still unable to get one to go down in this first quarter. And we get a Adrian foul. Bulldogs were looking for a traveling call. And there is Adrian, head coach Kathy Morris, her 30th season as the head coach of the program. And Brett, when you get to that point, you've seen it all.
You've seen it all, and you've done a lot of things right to be there for 30 years. And Coach Morris, entering your 30th season, got a young ball club here, again, trying to figure it out. You got lineups and matchups, and you know, who fits where and what philosophy you want to incorporate within this. You know, the ability of this overall group. A lot of things to figure out here early in the season for every club. But when you've done it for 30 years, you've done a lot of things right, and she's obviously figured it out more times than not.
Opposite look, and it goes. Finding Riley Campbell for the three. She shoots it at about 33%.
Yeah, her 11th made three, too, so she's more than willing to let it go and make it with regularity.
That's two differences we've seen in this matchup so far, Rhett. 6 of the 9 points for the Saints have come in the paint, while Adrian has not been shy from distance.
And that bodes well for Siena Heights, too. And obviously, when you get those kind of quality looks inside, you know, you're going to put yourself in a better position through the course of 4 quarters. Where when you're living on the arc, you know, you have a tough shooting night. It could be tough for you early and often.
You're thinking about it. Campbell looking for a second three. He's going to try it this time. And tipped on the backside, kept alive by Katie Shannon. And that's what Shannon does, makes the hustle plays. You're not going to see her lead this team in scoring or be in the top 3 for that matter, but she will make the extra plays to try and keep the ball alive.
Nice job. Clements did a nice job, dribble penetration, pulling the help defender and getting her teammates looks on the perimeter. Just haven't been able to knock it in.
One will put it on the floor, gets baseline and dribbled it off her own foot. Substitutions on both sides. Checking in for the Bulldogs, Chloe Gilbert, along with Courtney Crawford and Sarah Serpentes.
Number 12, Anaya Powell.
Anaya Powell now on the floor for the Saints, along with Eva Alcott. Four out, one in from the Bulldogs. And miscommunication between Clement and Campbell. One was thinking backdoor, one was thinking handoff.
As a result, ball out of bounds, turnover. So obviously they want to get that taken care of, and just trying to find some kind of rhythm offensively has been tough for the Bulldogs early on.
Right wing, overloading that right side. Three is up. Adrian basketball. Look there, Michaela Clement, who's done a good job trying to create most of the opportunities so far for Adrian. She's a freshman out of Byron, Michigan.
And that's when they would like to get going, too. It's averaging 7 points a game coming into this one, 12 points her season high. She's knocked down 7 threes, so she can get it going and supplement the scoring, what Chelsea Palmer's been able to do night in and night out. It'll really be a lift to this offense.
Bulldogs a little bit fortunate. That last shot just thrown up. Fortunate to have another opportunity on this possession. Campbell. And out of bounds, back to the Saints.
And that's back-to-back possessions, just unforced turnovers. And, you know, as a coach, you can live with live ball turnovers that, you know, you're making the right read and you just don't connect. But those simple ones out on the perimeter where the defense really has nothing to do with it, those are the ones that, you know, that drive you nuts as a coach.
Swung all the way around to the corner. A little bit strong on that one. Backside rebound by Serpentes. Clement, three. Got it. Michaela Clement. She's had 3 straight games with multiple threes. That was their first of the night.
And you said it. She can do it well, too. 39% coming into this ball game from the arc. Her 8th made triple of the season.
Stolen by Clement. 3-on-3 the other way. Transition offense unsuccessful, tipped out and tracked down by Serpentes. Clement again. That time off the mark, rushed that one.
She rushed that one. She didn't have it clean in her hand. And it came off wide right immediately.
Kiana 1 is back in. And now on the floor for Adrian is Kiara Wernette. Inside of 2 minutes to play here in the first. A one-possession game after it started out 7-0.
Well, the 2-3 zone here slowed down the pace that Siena Heights is playing with on the offensive end, and it's caused some turnovers and disrupted their rhythm a little bit.
Looking to get inside, contact on the arm. A little bit of a late whistle, but free throws coming up. Sarah Serpentes, 7.5 points a game coming off the bench. 6 of 7 at the free throw line so far this season.
Like Clement, she's one of those players too. You see if you, as the year goes on, you get more out of her offensively. 7.5 points a game. They need some double-digit scoring help to aid Chelsea Palmer. You get 3 girls that average double figures, you're in really good shape. And because then that 4th and 5th will come, game here, game there type thing. But when you only have 1, it makes things really tough. Puts a lot of extra stress on your defense.
Saints trying to hold on to the lead here late in the first quarter. Bulldogs really clogging up that paint. The elbow, Banks gives it up. 1 for 3. Off the mark, Peyton Banks, offensive rebound. And both officials have a foul as Banks was trying to rip it free.
Yeah, Adrian was looking for a tie up there, but they called for a hold. And the strength of Banks is, she almost pried that ball free for a layup there. Nice job there. I think right there. I think they're going to get Clement on the foul there. She reached in to grab the basketball, but didn't look like she got it at all.
It's fun to see a player like Peyton Banks for you and I, knowing the high school program that she came for from Wadsworth there in Northeast Ohio. That's a program that year after year was finding its way to the regionals and sometimes to states.
Well, Coach Booth has done a tremendous job over there at Wadsworth, and he's a perennial state power for sure. And when you can get a player like that into your program, they're coming in already with the mentality of winning, and that rubs off on your teammates as well. It's not just about wanting to, it's about putting in the work to be good. And so you can't have enough players from good programs because they already have that mentality and work ethic already established.
We've seen players from Wadsworth go to not only here at Siena Heights, but to Ashland, to the University of Toledo. And Banks inside will head to the line.
Yeah, nice feed on the inside there. The old classic drive, draw, and dish. Penetration breaks the defense down, but that was a nice job drawing that help defender and then making the diagonal look across the lane.
Peyton Banks, NAIA All-American, honorable mention with 17.5 points per game last season when she also passed 1,000 career points. Her career high came last season with 35 against Bethel, nearly matched that earlier this season with 34 against Grace. That will be team foul number 2 for the Saints. And into the ball game, Jillian Gelso.
You're seeing the depth that Siena Heights can roll it at you. Like to play fast, get in transition when the opportunity presents itself. But to do that, you're going to need depth coming off that bench that could not only just maintain your level of play, but even give you some production as well.
A little bit of a wild shot there underneath. Second chance not there, and rebounded by Alcock. Final seconds of the first. Up ahead, back out, off in time, and hard off the window. Well, it was a great start for the Siena Heights Saints. The Adrian Bulldogs hung tough, and they are right in this ball game after 10 minutes of play. It's Siena Heights 10, Adrian 8 here on BCSN.
32, Jordan Phillips, will start the second quarter.
Just a 2-point game as we get ready to start quarter number 2. Brad Woznicki back with Rhett Boyd. And Rhett, you like the adjustments that you saw defensively from Adrian as that first quarter went along.
They got down 7-0 quick playing man-to-man. They got buried inside with Banks. So they go 2-3 zone. It just slowed down Siena Heights' offensive rhythm. It congested the lane, and things have been difficult for them lately.
Traveling the call as the Saints got it inside to Eva Alcock. We'll see how the Saints operate now with Peyton Banks. Better question, we'll see how long she's on the bench.
As long as this game is within a couple of possessions, I think you'll see her stay there. And because obviously you want to preserve her for the long run of the second half. But in this game, if they get down 3-4 possessions, let's see if Coach Soldierbeck rolls the dice and puts her back in.
Adrian shot just 12% from the field in the first quarter. That 3 comes up short. And able to get by the defender and finish with the left hand for an and 1. Shakaya Parker.
Outstanding job. And that's one way to beat the zone is you get in transition. You don't allow the zone to set up. It gives you some one-on-one opportunities, and Parker took advantage of it and delivered there with the left hand.
7 of 9 at the free throw line this season. Tied her career high with 20 points in the loss to Concordia.
Don't leave her alone on the arc. 16 made triples for her so far this year as well.
Seen the Bulldogs attempt 10 threes so far, knocked down 2 of them. And a pass inside. Got that one ahead of Courtney Crawford before she could really get set.
Yeah, good idea, but just got to hold on to it a half a second longer. Let her get her feet established in that low block area.
Riley Campbell back in, along with Kaya Warner. Minute gone by in this second quarter, 2-possession game. Alcock wanted it inside. It's worked to the other side of the floor. Back iron 3, rebounded by Campbell.
Team up empty, but you like the ball movement. You want to stretch that zone. You get the ball going side to side, inside out.
Woo! Deep 3 for Jordan Phillips, her 4th of the season.
That's what Adrian needs right now because they've been struggling from behind the arc. Big
Actually,
shot there.
1-possession game.
Yeah, big shot there off the bench by Phillips, right in that bench production.
1 pulls up. Nice short jumper for Kiana at 1.
Well, we've seen her on the offensive glass, defensive glass. We've seen her knock down a 3. That time we see her working the interior of that zone, knocking down the short jump shot. Versatile player.
Campbell handling, gives it up. And 1 staying right in front of Warner. Adrian begging for a foul call.
They might have a case there, too. They hit with the body. Knocked that shot awry right from the get-go, but nonetheless, Siena Heights gives it right back.
Kathy Morris still looking at the official like, are you kidding me? Well, a little bit into the body there, and on the arm.
And right there, yeah, right on the elbow. Right on the elbow going up, and then a little body after.
And that's a turnover.
Yeah, nice backside help there by Banks to pick off the errant pass.
Siena Heights has got to take advantage of every Bulldogs turnover. They don't want to keep giving the Bulldogs opportunities to stay in this game. Banks wants it. The help side defense continues to be there with Palmer.
The help's there. That's where they got to hit the ball at the high post to Hamilton, who's unguarded right now at that 15-foot mark. If they go there, she's got a mid-range jump shot. If they run at her, then Banks has got one-on-one on the inside. But they miss Hamilton on that possession from that high post area.
Now you've got Clement and Palmer back on the floor for Adrian.
Because when you go to the high post, then you make that backside defender that was played so well and so aggressively, you had to make them make decisions. Do I go play the high post, or do I sit down and try to take the low block away?
Here's Palmer. Tries to go right by her defender. You can count it. She looked back at her teammate, then went right by the defender.
Yeah, a little head fake. Froze Hamilton just for a split second. See here, a little show and go, little fake. Pass out to the perimeter, got her defender flat-footed in one dribble finish. Chelsea Palmer on the board here.
61% free throw shooter, completes the three-point play. Chelsea Palmer started her career at Jackson College, then took a year off from basketball. She's been with the Bulldogs the last couple of seasons, playing 33 games. Here's Banks just inside the arc. Finds her fellow post and put up and in.
Yeah, a little short corner concept there. Banks came across the low block, just flexed out to that 8-foot mark in that short corner. Good dive by Hamilton on that high post. Nobody home.
That's the fifth different Siena Heights player to score. Campbell, her second three, no. And one comes flying in for the rebound. Flying the other way. Kiana One going to try and take it all the way.
It's a great decision by Juan with the dribble in hand. She read the bottom player in the zone. That bottom player sat out and was going to take the corner away. She read it. You see right there, Campbell. Campbell didn't commit to the ball. She's planning on going out there and closing out in the perimeter. Juan read it correctly. One more hard dribble and got contact going to the rim.
Kiana One, all Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference freshman team, played in 19 games. She has started every game so far this season. She'll try to split the pair.
Just plays with great energy. You can see that right from the get-go here on both ends of the floor, and she's always around the ball. Things happen when Iwana One is on the floor, and she's one of those players you just can't. She makes you not take her out because of how much versatility she has.
Quick possession and unable to draw iron. Three is up. Gave that one a chance. Plenty of arc on that shot. Another opportunity. Banks inside. Count it.
She gets the basket on a great move, but that play was made by Iwana Wan once again. Right there, she comes up with a loose ball, finds Banks on the inside for a three-point opportunity.
One more here. Banks, front iron. Hamilton, the offensive rebound. Saints turn it over. Sue Silgerbeck, her team, has led for most of this first half. Still a little bit careless with the basketball.
Yeah, you want to tighten that up for sure, but they've gotten some quality looks on the offensive end. Here's Campbell.
Ooh, she's got another.
They step back, created separation, knocked down her second triple of the evening.
And they knock them down, it looks good. Peyton Banks trying to answer off the mark. Hamilton offensive rebound. Banks tries to force her way inside, and she's going back to the line. And Adrian Bench is looking like, if you're going to give her that call, we need that call at the other end.
Yeah, you're exactly right. See here, she splits the defense with a little up and under. She caught the defense off guard. The help defender came over as if she was going to continue to drive the ball to the left side, but found a crease and got the shot up underneath and caught with contact.
8 points now for Banks. She and One have combined for 14. Two for two. Not going to see too many misses from Peyton Banks at the line.
No, and if you're going to average 20, you're going to have to do it differently. And we've talked about she has the ability to score from the inside. We've seen that. She's knocked down 9 threes in the year as well. But when you get those free throw opportunities, you cash in at a high level like she does at 89%. That's how that scoring average increases quickly.
And Hamilton trying to reach around Palmer is whistled for the foul. Team foul number 3.
And that's Hamilton's second. going to have to come out of the ball game. She's done a nice job on the offensive glass, keeping balls alive, but she's going to have to come out of this one.
Now in the game for the Saints, number 4, Eva Alcock.
Eva Alcock returns. You lose a little bit of size there with Eva Alcock in for Hamilton, but you still have the quickness and pretty good length.
And that's why this team's versatile. They have depth, but they can, and then with that depth, they can beat you differently.
Palmer turns, goes off the window.
Well, with Adrian hitting a couple threes in this first half, they have to take, you got to take that part of the game away from them. So there's a lot of perimeter pressure by Siena Heights in the perimeter. That frees up Palmer one-on-one inside. She took advantage of it.
A foul on the low block. As Alcock went down. The Saints are in the bonus. A little too physical there from Palmer. Had a forearm in the back as well. Didn't get called for that.
And then came down across the arm. If it's one of those, if you flip up on the ball, that ball pops up in the air, you might have a chance to get away with that. When every time you come down on the basketball, clean or not, it looks like a foul. And oftentimes that call will go on behalf of the offense.
Second one good for Eva Alcock. Campbell, drive and kick. Three is good. That was a nice find to Jordan Phillips. Her second.
Her second as well. You said it, but that's a nice job by Campbell's dribble penetration. Froze the defender. Gave just enough of an opening for Phillips to knock it down.
Unable to answer. Allie Miner couldn't hit from the right wing. Bulldogs can go in front if they can take care of it. Excellent effort there, trying to keep that ball alive. Allie Miner.
Yeah, nice job by Miner there.
Allie Miner, the team's leader in assists with 32 coming in, averages just over 3 points and 3 rebounds a game as well. A slight edge for the Bulldogs in this quarter. Inside, good catch. Not quite able to find the spot on the glass. And a jump ball, possession arrow pointing to Adrian.
It's a nice job there by Kira Wernet. Knowing that Siena likes to push the basketball, get into a sideline break situation there. She jumps the point guard immediately, caught her off guard a little bit, and forced a tie-up.
Finding Palmer. Rebounded by Miner, trying to push.
That was a good find by Wernet there. Palmer just couldn't knock it down.
Deanna one, baseline cut off. She'll get it back, open look. And Banks trying to come in and rip away the rebound. This will be Siena Heights basketball this time.
Nice job by Banks. It's easy for a player at the top of the key on a corner three just to watch, because you are the first person back on defense, but she read that right away, saw it was coming off short to the front side of the iron, and was able to at least force a tie-up, and the possession arrow will favor them.
Now the game for the Bulldogs, number 14.
Shot clock reset to 20. 2:51 left in this second quarter. Open there, missed an opportunity.
The screener action there. The second screener just opened up the basketball, had a look, just didn't get it to him. I believe that was Banks.
Here's Peyton Banks, spins. Nifty move, but not the finish. Palmer calling for it. Warner gives it up.
So with that dribble handoff right now, Siena Heights is playing man defensively, which for Adrian, that's when your dribble handoff to be more effective, allows you to turn the corner on the interchange. However, Siena Heights is switching that ball screen, trying to stay in position and square with the ball handler, but it was a nice job by Adrian there. Got leverage, was able to turn the corner a little bit and get the contact.
Courtney Crawford just checked in for Adrian. And pretty good defense, tough 2 for Kaya Warner.
Found herself in the middle of the lane, couldn't find anybody to pass the ball to. Hey, why not? Let's put it up and see what happens.
Warner's first points. Here's Miner on the drive, tried to bounce it to Banks, and Banks keeps it in. 1 down the lane, she'll shoot 2.
She's so quick with that first step, covers ground. You blink, she's gone.
Look at this effort by Banks just to keep it in bounds.
Great save right through the legs of. I believe it's Warnett there. Right through the legs of Katie Shannon. Right to Juan.
Well, and the play right there that you're seeing, that was extra effort from Siena Heights. You had a couple of players there for Adrian watching as a couple of players went after it for Siena Heights.
When you're on the road and you're the underdog, those are the 50-50 balls that you have to make.
Corrected
I
there.
gotcha.
When you're down the road.
Yeah,
when
down
you're on
the road. Yeah,
you're down the road.
Yeah. But you got to win those 50-50 battles. And then if you don't, you just give it a quality team extra possession like you saw right there, and Juan made him pay from the free throw line.
7 points. Brianna Juan. And blocked at the elbow by Allie Miner. And Miner is full steam the other way. Tries to kick to the corner. It's tipped, and it will stay at this end.
See, Miners snuck right up on Courtney Crawford there. Cut her off guard, got the steal. Here she comes downhill. She tries to get a little pass to the corner there. Good deflection there. I think it was Riley Campbell that got a hand on that for Adrian.
Less than 90 seconds to play in the first half. Banks. And a foul from behind is called against Courtney Crawford. I think that's one could have let go. It was a late decision getting that ball inside.
If she's in a three-quarter front position and gets that deflection, they might let it go. But she was buried, straight behind Peyton Banks and reach right through her back. And those are ones that, if you're Siena Heights, you want called because she did all the work. She got the defender buried inside, and you can't, just because the defender's undersized, you can't bail them out in that situation as an official. But if she's on the three-quarter side, when she's got an arm out in front of Peyton Banks, gets that deflection, you may let that go.
Peyton Banks, the first player to reach double figures tonight. Bad turnover for Adrian on the inbounds.
Yeah, a little 2-2-1 pressure there caused Adrian, caught him off guard a little bit, didn't get in their press breaker situation, and Shakaya Parker able to come up with a steal. Kathy Morris. Not real thrilled with that call, or the fact that her team turned it over that deep in their own territory.
Well, and there's been a few calls that Adrian would have liked to have gone their way in this first half. But you're looking up at the scoreboard and you're saying, we're still right there.
Well, and that's the thing. If we can just clean up some of our turnovers on the offensive end. We got the defense pretty much intact now that we went to the 2-3 zone. It's caused Siena Heights a lot of problems. Just going to clean up our efficiency on the offensive end. We'll give ourselves a great chance to come out of here with a win.
Into the hands of Campbell. Off the mark, and good box out by Peyton Banks. Got position. Miner pushes it. Over to Parker. Shaq Parker for three. Yes, nothing but the bottom.
Well, it's a good ball movement. Quick reversal around the top. Beat the rotation of the defense, and Parker just drilled her 17-3 on this young season.
She knocked down 3 of them last time out against Cornerstone when she scored 19 points. Final minute of the first half. Traveling.
The perimeter pressure on that possession for Siena Heights sped up Adrian. Caused that turnover.
Allie Miner will bring it up the floor. About a 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Down to 10. Parker over to Minor. Inside, good catch. Foul is called.
Good patience here. I thought they were going to run out of time. Nice shot, got the ball inside. Here comes Banks across the lane. And it's one of those calls, those 50-50 calls that Coach Morris is not happy about.
Well, and Crawford didn't like the whistle there called against her, but you saw how easily Banks got to that block. She just stepped right under the defender, got to where she wanted to easily.
Yeah, you got to try to jam the cutter there. Just slow them down, slow that cutter down coming across the lane. It allows you to get into a three-quarter front or a full front position.
And time has expired for the first 2 quarters of play. A nice run for the Siena Heights Saints on their home floor to close out the second quarter. As a result, the Saints are going to the locker room with a 7-point lead. Peyton Banks leading the way with double figures. We'll hear more from Peyton Banks at halftime here on BCSN. Back here at the home of the Siena Heights Saints, and joined now by Siena Heights forward Peyton Banks. And Peyton, it's been quite the start to the season so far, looking very strong. What has the team liked most so far about the performances?
I think we're all liking the performance. We're coming out with intensity, fight on defense and offense, and hoping to continue it through the season.
Now, for you as a player, you've been a leader on this team. Game in, game out, your expectations?
My expectations for myself is go out there and work as hard as I can, get the points needed for the team, rebounds, defensive deflections, all of the above, and just try to win.
Now, it's been quite the career here for you at Siena Heights. How has Siena Heights helped you grow as a person?
Oh, definitely. Not just basketball, but even on the school side of things. Like, I'm growing as a person, individual, and becoming more out of myself than I was when I came here. I'm sure Sue could tell you that as well. But yeah, definitely made me into the person I am, and I really appreciate coming here.
And following Siena Heights, you are going into elementary education. What led you into that field?
I think just the teachers I had growing up, the coaches I've had, they were all teachers, and I just thought that was a road for me, and excited to do it.
And going forward for this team to continue to have success, what are you looking forward from this group?
I think our shooting ability, getting to the rim, defense, I think can be 10 times better. So I'm excited to see what happens.
And lastly, your head coach, Sue Siljerbeck. What have you learned from her during this time in your playing days?
What can I say? Definitely being more vocal and getting outside of yourself and putting the team first is what she always preaches. And I think that's what we all learned most from her. And yeah.
Peyton, thanks for your time. Good luck moving forward.
Yep. Thank you.
Halftime here at Siena Heights, and I'm joined now by Siena Heights head women's basketball coach Sue Siljabek. And Sue, start of this season, it's been a good one for the Saints. What are you liking about the team's performances so far?
We've come out pretty strong. We had a little blimp in the schedule, but hopefully that's enough to rally us and understand that, hey, we do have to still get to work and we still have to continue to improve. They're enjoying each other playing and they're enjoying being around it. And so I think, to be honest, that's usually half the battle.
And this group coming into this season, did you expect this fast start with the players that you have throughout your lineup?
We weren't really sure what to expect. We returned Anea Powell, who sat out last year, was a previous starting point guard. Allie Miner came back last year, was a starting point guard for us. We lost her halfway through. Bryan, Ohio graduate, and she to injuries, and so she came back strong. And then bringing back, obviously, Peyton Banks, who is, our player of the year and stuff like that. So I wasn't quite sure with a few new pieces and a few old pieces that just haven't played for a while. But, they're fitting right in and trying to manage, basically I have 3 point guards on the floor at one time, or I could have it. And so that's been kind of unique for us and hopefully bringing us our success and continued success.
And it's one test after another in this conference year after year. Game like Adrian here today, what do you look for that will help you towards conference play?
Yeah, you're right. It's one test after another. This is like another conference game, really, because it's our city, it's our town, and it's just that crosstown rival that we have to come out and hopefully, we only see them once a year. We didn't get them last year due to the pandemic, just was canceled out. But we're looking, maybe they'll find something that maybe our conference schools don't see us consistently. So, if it's something that we need to work on, we'll be able to catch it from film and work out in the next few days. Is that we go open up into a tournament after Thanksgiving right here. So we don't have too much time, but hopefully we can get to work on it a little bit.
And you've got the definition of a leader on the floor for you in Peyton Banks. You've seen Peyton Banks now for 4 years. How have you seen her grow in her game?
She had the luxury to come in and play behind some really good players and learn from them. But she came in as a freshman and contributed, but I don't want to say meek, but just kind of, walked cautiously, I guess, maybe because she was just a freshman playing a lot of minutes for us. And she had come in and now she's just, elevating her leadership every time. I told her, I said, every year, every game, every minute you're in this program, you gain more and more ownership to it, and you're going to need to be a voice. And in fact, she's like, gosh, Coach, she's like, this leadership takes hard work. I'm like, yeah, that's why not too many people do it, But she's doing a great job at it.
And as a team now, for this group coming in here, knowing the experience that you have, is there a goal that this team has set for expectations for this season?
I believe this every year. I know you can sit back and you say you've lost this and that, you might not win a championship, but it's one thing we haven't done here at Siena Heights. So we're looking for a championship. We're looking to win as many games as possible, and we want to be top 10 in the field goal percentage defense. And we just haven't been there for a while. We've been there in the past, and we got to just take that next step. That's probably the one piece that we need to improve. And I think it's becoming more of a mindset that we have to really start changing and get back to how it used to be.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Siena Heights head coach Sue Siljabek.
BCSN's Sports Nightly is your best source for sports coverage every season.
It's the area's only 30-minute show that focuses on local sports from beginning to end.
Scores, highlights, and stories that feature the athletes and coaches from your community.
If it's local, it's on Sports Nightly every night at 10:30 on BCSN and the BCSN Now app.
We continue on with our halftime report. Our first of this Tuesday night doubleheader. Siena Heights leading Adrian 31-24. Take you through some of the first half highlights, and early on, the scoring was coming from the inside and the outside for the Saints.
Yeah, they got out to a 7-0 start. Looks like they were going to run away with this one early, but give Coach Morris and the Adrian Bulldogs a lot of credit. They made an adjustment eventually. They went to a 2-3 zone, and it really slowed down the impact that Siena Heights was having offensively, and then they got some timely threes just to stay within arm's length of the Siena Heights basketball team. Did Adrian. Riley Campbell hit a couple. We had Jordan Phillips as well. Knocked down a couple threes. Kayla Clement hit one as well. So a lot of timely baskets there for Adrian to keep them within arm's reach. But on the other end of the floor, when Siena Heights is able to play fast, get to push the ball in transition or semi-transition, it really allowed Banks to utilize her size and strength on the inside to get one-on-one matchups, to be able to finish and get to the foul line as well. And that opened up the perimeter game for Shakaya, Parker, as well, as she knocked down one of her 17 triples on the season there in the first half.
Big second chance points helping create the separation right now between the Saints and the Bulldogs. Combined 29 threes attempted in that first half.
Yeah, a lot of teams, they're trying to protect against a straight line drive to the rim, which really breaks down your defense and make your both teams are trying to make your opponent perimeter oriented. But it's been, even though the threes have been somewhat similar in terms of makes, Adrian's got a couple more. It's been Siena Heights' ability to score from the inside and from the free throw line is the difference in this one.
If you're looking for two X factors as far as individually, their teams coming into this third quarter, who's stepping up?
Well, I think Riley Campbell and Michaela Clement. I think those two have the ability to stretch the floor. They did it with some consistency in that first half. They got some good looks. Even the ones that they didn't make, they were right on the rim. I think those two, if they can get going early, that'll free up Palmer on the inside to where she can get some more one-on-one opportunities. For Siena Heights, it's the ability to tempo. They got to play fast, get out in space. It all starts with getting stops on the defensive end. They get out in space, and then you can utilize Banks on the inside, and that will create some opportunities on the perimeter as well. And that will keep Adrian on their heels, not allow them to get established in that 2-3 zone.
We saw Shakaya Parker start to get going as that second quarter went on. She's got 8 points. Expect her to continue to help lead the way along with the expected player, Peyton Banks, who's got 11 after 20 minutes.
BCSN's Sports Nightly is your best source for sports coverage every season.
It's the area's only 30-minute show that focuses on local sports from beginning to end.
Scores, highlights, and stories that feature the athletes and coaches from your community.
If it's local, it's on Sports Nightly every night at 10:30 on BCSN and the BCSN Now app.
The Adrian Bulldogs will have the basketball to start the third quarter. 7-point game. Brad Woznicki back with Rhett Boyd. Crosstown rivalry night. We will have the men's game following this one. About a half an hour after this one goes final, if you're joining us live on the BCSN app. Into the hands of Campbell. Now Palmer faces up, goes at Hamilton. Another opportunity, 3 is up for Clement. Oh yeah, second chance.
Her second made triple of the evening. We said she's one of the X factors in the second half. Good start for the Bulldogs with Clement knocking down the triple try.
That's her 4th straight game with multiple 3s. Minor to the corner. Banks. The on one runner would not drop, rebounded by Warner. And Warner trying to push. Poked away by one. It's Campbell to Palmer. Tried to squeeze that one along the baseline.
A good job by Juan on the backside to read it, recognize it, and then attack that pass and deflect it out of bounds.
I think if you're Palmer there, you missed an opportunity where she was at on the floor. Looking for one inside.
Well, especially with Hamilton inside, she can get a third foul on her early in the second half. That'll go big for them. It takes some size off the floor for Siena Heights.
And Palmer heard us talking. She hits the turnaround, give her 7 points.
She was held quiet for the most part in that first half, and that's somebody that Coach Siljebeck of Siena Heights does not want to get going early and get some rhythm in this second half.
Clement the steal. Campbell, tough runner, just grazed the iron. And Minor wants to take it right back the other way. Jack Parker lines it up. The on one finds Banks underneath. And Palmer's whistle for the foul. She tried to avoid the contact there.
So she got referee signal that she got hit in the side of the head. We'll see here. Banks going up. Yeah, she got her a little bit there. It's not, the hand was clean with the ball, but it was the forearm on the side of the head of Banks, which Banks to the free throw line, where we talked about earlier, 89% on the season.
Struggled a bit in that first half. Now 6 of 10 from the charity stripe. So a little bit of an off night for Peyton Banks at the line. Two for two.
Well, 2-2-1 pressure. We started a little bit there. It caused a steal in the first half. Gets another one here. Start the second.
Banks.
They've been selective with it. However, it might be something they want to go to more often here in the second half just to create or try to speed up Adrian and try to get them to turn the ball over.
Parker there, indecisive, shuffled the feet. Points off turnovers in that first half, 8-3, but you thought with the amount of takeaways that Siena Heights had, that they would have a bigger advantage in the first half.
Well, conversely,
they've given it back.
They've given it right back, exactly right. So it's kind of a wash at the end of the day.
Siena Heights foul on number 1, Iana Wan. That's her first, team's first.
At the line, Katie Shannon, senior from Lansing, playing in her 49th career game. Her first point right there. 7 different Bulldogs have scored. Right back to a 2-point game. And going for the steal, Shannon.
And she almost got it too. We talked about how does somebody start that averages 0.06 points, 0.6 points a ball game, but that's why. It's the intangibles, the glue girl, if you will, for this basketball team. It's the deflections, the steals, it's the communication defensively, it's taking charges, all the little things that may not show up in the stat sheet, but it's conducive to winning and hold your teammates together.
Iana one drives, tried to slip it to Banks.
Nice job by Palmer with the quick hands. In
the lane, and Banks the rebound. Minor, long pass to the running Shaq Parker, who couldn't finish it. But Ianawan trying to keep it alive. Bouncing off one Bulldog after another.
A lot of action going on there.
Adrian college foul on number 4, Katie Shannon. That's her second, team second.
Adrian just hanging around. This ball game, it's a game that you feel like Siena Heights is controlling, but look up at the scoreboard, it's a 2-point ball game here.
Minor. Clement comes away with it. Up ahead to Palmer. She gathers, puts it up, can't finish it. Tipped around, and Adrian wanted it over the back call as Shannon hit the deck.
It looks like an over the back call, but in defense of the officials, if there's space, well, I didn't see a lot of space there.
No,
go
the first hit I think they missed.
Yeah, Coach Morris I think has something to gripe about there, but if there's space, normally, both players have the right to go have a degree of verticality.
Red Boyd always looking out for the officials, just not sure.
Toughest job in the gym because you don't make anybody happy. Somebody's always upset with you.
Juan gets left side, and last second decision there to try and get that to Alcock. And checking in, Anea Powell. And Sarah Serpentez will check in for the Bulldogs. If you're that deep, if you're on one there, you got to try and take it all the way up.
Well, either that, if the defense is going to stay back and not, and not leave the frontline players, and Popa take the 5-foot jump shot, take the 5-foot jumper there, and then that's going to make them the defense make decisions.
Almost 4 minutes in, sitting at a 1-possession game. The lead was 7 at the break for the Saints. Mid-range game, well short. Minor always looking to push.
She's full speed right now.
Trying to fit it inside. Bulldogs the other way. Minor going for the steal. Rhett, you notice about Allie Minor is you get some contact afterwards there. Campbell came in, went right in the body of Minor, and Minor took exception to it. And here it is one more time, a little shoulder bump. I like it. Officials didn't see it.
Play on.
It's nothing compared to what you saw the other night in Detroit.
No.
Isaiah Stewart's not chasing down LeBron James.
No.
1 game suspension for LeBron, 2 for Stewart. If you suspend LeBron any more than a game, you're losing a lot of ticket money. Isaiah Stewart, I like him. I love his hustle. I think it'll be great for the Pistons. I'm glad to see he only got 2 games. When you have a situation like that, you just don't see that often.
I don't have a problem with the 2 games because he kept going. He kept going. He didn't stop. But the shot that LeBron delivered,
the cheap shot, yes.
That you think that's got to match. At least he's got to maybe match. But there's a lot. I think the league had a lot of things to consider there.
Well, and I've got a Detroit Lions fan next to me.
Oh,
you saw the way Stewart was shredding defenders. I mean, is there a tryout coming there?
Why not? Why not? They the help they can get. Don't get me started.
Frustrating part for the Pistons, not only did they not like the way things went between Stewart and LeBron, but the way that one ended, because the Pistons led for pretty much the entire game, blew a double-digit lead in the 4th.
Tell you what, though, I like what Coach Casey and the organization is doing. You see the blueprint that they're trying to implement. They got a lot of youth. That they're building from the middle out. Nice job. Speaking of building from the inside out, is Banks on the inside there. If you see you can see the philosophy in what the pieces they're putting into place. It's just going to take time with the youth, but you like how hard they're playing. You like the development. Just as the wins and losses are the last thing that will come with that, but they're definitely the trajectories heading in the right direction.
Corner three, Parker rimmed out. And Banks, right place.
Well, the ball's in Peyton Banks' hands. The trajectory of the offensive efficiency heads in the right direction as well. And you've seen that from her the last couple of possessions here. See the ball rattles in and out. It's right on. And Banks working hard on the weak side on that offensive glass. He gets rewarded for it. Now my Lions, on the other hand, Mr. Woznicki, it's going to take time. A lot of time. And out of all the years, we'll get off football here in a minute, but of all the years for the quarterback class to be down, if you will, coming out in the draft, it would be the year the Lions had the number 1 pick. Could have been the last 2 years when you had 8 quarterbacks go in the top 15 picks in between the 2 years.
Well, can they get enough for a pick and get a veteran quarterback?
You look at the rosters. I don't see who has what expendable. I went down that road the other day. I didn't see anybody that's the backup on some team that is worth packaging your picks for to go get. Maybe that's just me. You almost got to take an edge rusher that everything the Thibodeau guy, and then maybe you package the second first-round pick, maybe your second move up and get a top-notch receiver. That's not a deep position either, so you almost need to go get one of them. Like a Chris Olave or a Garrett Wilson. I'll take either one of those guys, but it's going to be a long process for him. But hey, lifelong fan, you don't give up on your team.
Peyton Banks trying a three, and it's offline. Trying to save it. Alcock. Three players on the floor for Adrian. Chloe Gilbert out there. Courtney Crawford. And Jordan Phillips. 6-point game, just over 4 to play in the third. Offense has been a little bit tough to come by in this third quarter. Shots have certainly not been falling from the outside. We've seen Shaq Parker with some good looks, just hasn't been able to connect.
Yeah, and the press is really affecting Adrian. They're getting sped up, meaning they're just playing a little bit faster than maybe what their capabilities are, and they're just getting loose with the basketball, turning the ball over, and it's not allowing them to get any kind of rhythm or good looks at the rim either.
Peyton Banks surrounded, gets it out. Three, no, that was halfway down for Powell.
It's a good look, though. Good kick out. Spot up three. You'll take it every time.
Maya Powell did not play last season, but glad to have her back. Powell, 96 career games, averaged better than 4 points and 3 assists a game in the 1920 season. She's averaging 6 so far, gives the team a good lift off the bench. And look at this last foul underneath across the arm.
Crawford did a good job there getting the defender on her back and really get a good seal inside, and the defender had no choice but to foul. To put it to the line and make her earn 2 free throws.
Courtney Crawford had one of her best performances with 9 points, 9 rebounds against Mount Aloysius. Came off the bench for the first time all season last game. Bulldogs staying within striking distance. Whole fourth quarter to go.
Hit the high post there. Banks has the defender on her back. Got a hit there. A deflected pass, another turnover. But go there, then she can score up and dump it inside.
Chloe Gilbert handling, and she is fouled by Anea Powell.
Again, you look up at the board. 2-possession ball game.
That's her first.
It's not going to take much for Adrian to get back into this one in terms of the lead. Just 2 possessions. I think right now with the personnel on the floor. Nice step through.
Front iron, and Powell out of bounds as she tried to save it. Another thing you note, 4-point game right now. Bulldogs are still right there with Campbell on the bench, Clement on the bench, and the player we talked about coming in, Chelsea Palmer, on the bench.
That's right. If this crew can just hold the fort down and maintain, to go a long way in determining how fresh they are going into the fourth quarter and trying to survive foul trouble as well.
Reach in.
In this group right now on the floor for Adrian's doing a good job of absorbing clock, getting quality looks at the rim as well, making Siena Heights defend. Which hopefully, if you're Coach Morris, wears down your opponent as time goes on.
Powell defending. And trying to find a teammate was Courtney Crawford. She was fouled.
She did a great job of just trying to catches. You look opposite. She had a teammate lined up in the perimeter, but the foul prevented the pass. But you see here, she looks opposite, tries to get the kick out to her teammate Jordan Phillips, who knocked down 2 threes already in this one. Good idea. Now you got to make him pay from the free throw line.
Naya Powell has picked up both of her personal fouls in this game in the third quarter. Iana One is back on for the Saints. Checked in for Eva Alcock. And Courtney Crawford continues to convert from the line. Sticking to the zone, the Bulldogs. A lot of work being done by Banks to try and get open, and as she catches it at the free throw line, there was a kick ball.
And Siena Heights has some length at the top of that zone right now, which is making it hard for the smaller guards to see their passing lanes. They're going to find flash that voided area just right inside that free throw line, that high post area. And Wano was able to take advantage of it. Again, attack that high post foul line area. Right behind the guards, right in front of the back line. And you can get it in there, good things happen more times than not, and Wano gets to the free throw line on that possession.
First point of the second half for Iana One.
And how you play off of that is when the guards then collapse on you because you've been making plays from there, is that opens up the kick out to the perimeter to your shooters who are spotted up, their feet set.
That's what you love about having Iana One and Allie Miner on the floor. The two never stop moving. They're always looking for open teammates, always pushing the basketball, and they can cause some chaos for an opponent's offense as well.
Yeah, not only are they disruptive defensively, they're the hardest player to guard on the floor because you're right, they don't stop moving. Actually, we look back throughout history, right? Rip Hamilton of the Pistons back in their championship days in the early 2000s was a master at it. Reggie Miller before that from the Indiana Pacers.
J.J. Redick, coming out of Duke, had to continue to be a great ball mover in the NBA. He even became a better defender.
Nice job there by Shakira Parker. Shot fake, one dribble, elevate, finish from 15. Pure looking stroke. 14 and white.
Parker joins Banks in double figures. Approaching a minute to play in the third. From the wing, off the mark. Saints basketball.
Clement coming back in the ball game gives them another perimeter threat, as we've seen. We're knocked down 2 threes already in this one. They're going to need a two-possession ball game. Here comes Palmer as well.
Bulldogs, number 31, Chelsea Palmer.
One question I have is Peyton Banks going to get a rest before this game's over now? This game has remained tight. Thought she might come out for the final minute or so, at least in this third quarter.
But with the insurgent of Palmer back in the ball game, you're hesitant to do so, especially with Hamilton with foul trouble. There's Kaya Parker once again. From distance.
8-point lead. Bulldogs got to be careful here that this lead doesn't grow to double digits before the fourth.
Now if you get a dead ball situation, you might give Banks a break, being up multiple possessions.
top. Good close there by Parker. Shot clock winding down. Able to get the shot up from the elbow, and it goes off the window.
Boy, Gilbert, big bucket there to bring this back to a two-possession ball game.
What a time for her first points of the game. Down to 10 seconds. Minor. Parker, three, short. Had it gone, it would have been Adrian's largest deficit of the game going to the fourth. But it is just a 6-point game.
Hanging around.
Should be a fun fourth here on BCSN. Well, this has been a pretty even ball game. Siena Heights led by 2 after 1 quarter of play, extended the lead to 7 going into the locker room. And then Adrian, a 13-12 advantage in the third. On the inbounds, body's hitting the floor.
We talked about it. The feel of this game, well, it feels like Siena Heights has been in firm control. But you can look at the scoreboard, and Adrian's just hanging around. And you got to give a lot of credit to the Bulldog bench. They've outscored Siena Heights 14-1 in bench production here this evening. A big reason why they're still hanging around on this one.
A foul was called against Adrian. It's called against Yara Warnett. Let's see if this becomes a free throw line game as we get in the late stages. Minor, good find to Parker.
Miss Banks inside. She has a defender on her back.
Powell, 3 is off the mark. Can't say you haven't had looks if you're the Saints. They just have not been online.
They've not been online, but they missed their best player with their defender sealed on the inside when the ball was in the corner.
Deanna One just picked up the foul in the last possession. Inside, last touch by the Saints.
Right now, if you're the Bulldogs, obviously you want to get Palmer a touch, on the interior. But if not, you must continue your dribble penetration.
There's a long 2. Minor comes out of there with it. Banks, big 3.
We talked about her ability to stretch the floor. Done a lot of her work from the free throw line and on the inside here this evening, but that time stepping out and knocking down her 10th triple of the year.
Give her 20 points on the night. Deep 3, hard off the glass. Saints can make this a double-digit lead. The 9-point lead right now is their largest. Parker in the lane. One puts it on the floor, pulls up.
Great possession. You just didn't find the bottom of the net. You like everything about it leading up to it.
Clement picked up her dribble. Palmer was not there inside. Kind of a lazy pass.
Try to throw it right through Peyton Banks, and almost like a block in volleyball.
Might be a little bit of fatigue setting in.
Courtney Crawford and number 30, Riley Campbell.
But right there, it was never there. There were a couple of defenders there, plus the high hands, as my partner noted, from Peyton Banks.
That's the extent of my volleyball knowledge, by the way, so don't ask me anything else. Oh, you got to get the ball over the net in three shots.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no problem.
The audition is over. 3 for Powell, 12-point lead.
Big shot there. Number 8 on the season, 39% from the big line coming into this one.
And her first points tonight.
Timely.
Bulldogs in trouble. It's Clement on the drive, and she is fouled. That's what you got to do right now. Get to the line, try and cut into this lead without any time coming off the clock.
Absolutely, that's the best recipe for success right now if you're Adrian. It's right here, good drive by Clement, the step through, and Powell reaches in and commits the foul.
Katie Shannon returns. Good minutes there from Chloe Gilbert. First is good for Clement. And Michaela Clement just above her season average, 8 points tonight.
Nice look over, had one on the inside. The high-low is there if they're patient with it.
And Banks splits the defenders, rebounded by Clement. Cross-court pass, Campbell 3. Banks the box out and board.
Yeah, good job on the weak side. Long shot, long rebound. Banks understood that, got a good box out on the weak side.
Here's the tough part for Siena Heights going forward here. Yes, you're looking at a 10-point lead, 6:55 left. You want to use up some time on each possession, but at the same time, you want to keep the rhythm in your offense. You don't want to get late into a shot clock and just throw one up.
Just know what you want to do. Or more importantly, know who you want to get the ball to and where. I think right now, if they're patient, they get that high-low game. It's going to be tough for Adrian to stop. You might not get it on the first pass or first time rotating the ball around, but if you're patient, you'll get it.
Deanna Wan, that's a 2.
Tell you what, she's a Swiss Army knife to so many things for this ball club. We've seen it all full display here this evening.
Peyton Banks, Shaq Parker, and Deanna Wan all in double figures. Over to Shannon, gives it up quickly to Clement.
The box out by Parker on the inside.
6 minutes to play.
This is how you can put teams away. The one and done on the defensive end. You come down, be patient with the basketball again, and know where you want to attack and who you want to attack with. That's a good start. That's back-to-back threes by Powell on 2 attempts this quarter.
15 points, Siena Heights lead. Siena Heights 54, Adrian 39. This just a 30-second timeout with 5:49 to play. Siena Heights looking to improve to 7-1 on the season. Adrian coming in here 2-3. It's been up and down. And Rhett, when you're looking back on this game, if you're Adrian, you haven't made the most of the extra opportunities that you've had and taken advantage of the Siena Heights turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, you've done a nice job of hanging in there, hanging around, but you just haven't been able to put that run together. And turnovers, you said it, have disrupted the rhythm offensively. And, you've seen spots here where Clement really aided Palmer, and even Palmer hasn't been able to get started either. And then, Clement and Campbell have kind of done what they've done all year long, but you haven't had that consistent second score or even this game main score really step up. And just been an offensive struggle for them this evening.
Got to make every possession count now if you're the Bulldogs. Clement looking for an open teammate. Finding the cutter. Rebounded by Banks. Parker. Nice. It was open and she found it.
Nice job. Good movement by Banks without the basketball. Good diagonal find by Parker. Defense is going to rush at her because of her offensive prowess. A willing facilitator.
Pull up. Would not go. Rebound for Minor. This was a 6-point game at the start of the fourth. It's changed here in a matter of minutes.
Well,
changed a lot.
They found that run. They found that rhythm. They can string consecutive possessions together with points. Starts right there with 31 in white.
24 for Banks now. Timeout, Adrian. 4:37 left. We will take the timeout as well. Siena Heights 58, Adrian 39. Siena Heights has outscored Adrian 15-2 so far in this fourth quarter. 4:37 to play. The Saints on their way to a home victory in the crosstown rivalry. Underneath, finally a bucket from Palmer.
Nice job, Chelsea Palmer. Just hasn't got to be able to get in a sustained rhythm here this evening. That's a good, strong move in the block.
Averaging 14 coming in. He's got 9 tonight.
Well, the lady with the basketball right now is key to that 15-point outburst in this quarter, knocking down 2 threes. Parker's had her hand in it as well, and Banks also.
Serpentez the other way, slowed up. Just cannot afford to use up time on these possessions. Campbell 3. Rebounded by Powell. Pushing ahead to Iana 1. And 1's going to attack with the left hand.
Everything right, but finish the shot.
Shannon pulls up. Into the hands of Palmer, no good. If you're the Saints, just slow it down.
Clock's on your side right now.
Underneath. Peyton Banks will have a chance to add to her game-high 24 points.
Number 31, Chelsea Palmer, her fourth.
A nice feed inside by Allie Minor. Made life a lot easier for Banks with that diagonal bounce pass through the Bulldog defense.
I think that may be the end of the night for Chelsea Palmer as Jordan Phillips checks in. Also in for the first time tonight for Adrian is Olivia Green. And the first is good for Peyton Banks. 14 of her 25 in this second half. Less than 3 to play. Phillips.
One thing defensively that Siena Heights has been able to do in this half, outside of speeding up, nice move there by Campbell. Outside of speeding up Adrian and making play a little bit faster, what they would like is they've kept that perimeter oriented with the dribble. This is one of the rare occasions they've been able to get north and south and really break down the Siena Heights' defense. Nice move there again by Campbell getting the line. We're getting an and one.
You needed to see more of that from Campbell because that bucket she just got there was her first point since the first couple of threes she had in the first half.
Well, and that's where Siena Heights has made big gains in the second half. Is they made Adrian east-west drivers and not north-south drivers, and that kept them on the perimeter. It allowed your defense to stay intact and square on shooters because you don't have to help as much when they're not breaking you down. And outside of that move by Campbell, the Saints have done a good job in that regard.
And trying to take it right back. Foul is called, and Riley Campbell showing her frustration. Olivia Green, a little smirk there, doesn't agree with the call.
She's got to keep her emotions in check for sure, right in front of the official. However, you love the competitive fight. Riley Campbell right there. You know, they're down 17 with 2 minutes left, and she's still fighting on every possession like it's a tie game. That's what you love if you're Coach Morris.
Parker the drive. Shaq Parker couldn't get it to roll over. Now it's out to one. They're going to use up some more shot clock here. Powell. Inside Banks. Spins to the baseline and is hit. A little sportsmanship there. You know Campbell's frustrated. Helps up Banks.
She's just a half a step late. Peyton Banks, good job. Took her defender to the middle, did a pin back move, and Campbell just a half a step late coming out of the corner for the double. Banks gets to the line.
One more to come.
Now in the game for the Saints, number 4, Eva.
Checking in, Eva Alcock. Should be the end of the night for Peyton Banks. Less than 2 to play. Campbell stopped at the free throw line, still gets a shot up, rebounded by one. Double dribble, called against one.
Yeah, she lost the handle, trying to pick it up and kick to the corner, just lost the handle on it. She's played a heck of a ball game, though, for the Saints here this evening.
Jillian Gelso checks in for the Saints, and Alexis Silman in for the Bulldogs. Saints still making the Bulldogs work on every possession. Good catch by Green. And Powell got her hands in there. She thought she got all ball.
Siena Heights foul number 12, Amaya Powell, her 4th team score.
Yeah, you see Powell in there, and she had a lot of basketball there, but referee said she's on the wrist as well. Gave the call of the Bulldogs.
Silman on the inbounds. Olivia Green gets it to drop.
Olivia Green.
Looking to make the most of her minutes. Powell. Just inside of 10 seconds on the shot clock. Contact. And Shaq Parker will go to the line.
Well, she's been outstanding in this ball game. It was tough going for her at halftime. Had a lot of great looks. Ball right on the rim. Just couldn't get him the ball, but she kept her head up, and she's made some plays. Shooting the basketball at the perimeter, and then right here driving the ball. And once you saw a couple go through the rim, it really picked up her defensive game as well. And she's been a disruptive force on the other end of the floor too.
She just has to continue to be a player that can't be satisfied with the outside shot. When it's going, yes, it looks good, but she has to continue to make plays driving.
Right, because not only is she going to create opportunities for herself, but opportunities for her defense as well. I think dribble penetration is the biggest key to break down any defense. And she has the ability to do that with a quick first step. She's got length and finish inside in traffic, but also create for her teammates in that low block area as well.
Green in the paint. And Green knocks down 2 more.
Nice job here late in the ball game here. 4.5 points a game coming in. Efficient from the field at 50%, and we saw her knock down her first 2 attempts here.
Olivia Green out of East Lansing, Michigan. Less than 15 seconds to play. This game coming into the 4th quarter could have gone either way. It was just a 6-point game. But then in that first 5 minutes of the 4th, we had a 15-2 run for the Saints. They go on to win it by 17.
I think the depth of Siena Heights, particularly on the defensive end, really caused a lot of problems for Adrian. Kind of wore them down a little bit, and that allowed them to make Siena Heights to make that run when they strung some possessions together to start the 4th quarter.
And Peyton Banks finishes the night with 28 points to lead all scorers. She is tonight's Iron Woman of the game, presented by Iron Workers Local 55. Take your career to new heights. Call the Iron Workers Local 55 Training Center at 419-382-3080 and build a better future. 17 of the 28 for Peyton Banks came in the second half.
Yeah, and we saw her ability to control the inside to start the game, but you saw there her ability to stretch the floor and knock down a big 3 in that run that they had. It really broke this game open, and like I said, anytime that you can score inside, score outside, but then be as dominant as she is from the free throw line as well. We said 89% coming in this ballgame. You're going to be a tough stop on most nights, and she certainly was here this evening. Too much for Adrian and the Bulldogs.
15 from Shaq Parker, 10 from Kiana Wan. And then on the Bulldogs side, 9 points for Chelsea Palmer. She did end up leading the Bulldogs at the end of the night, although it was a rather quiet 9.
It was a quiet 9, and then, even from her teammates as well, a lot of them hit their average, but we talked about the importance of the open is for Palmer to do what she does and then get another second or third player in double figures was going to be imperative for them to have a chance here tonight, and they just couldn't get that done consistently here tonight, and it proved to be their downfall.
On our first matchup of the night in the crosstown rivalry, Siena Heights comes out on top against Adrian, 64-47 the final. That'll do it for our broadcast. I want to thank my broadcast partner, Red Boyd. I'm Brad Woznicki saying so long for now. And a reminder, today's game can only be seen on Buckeye Broadband. The Siena Heights Saints come out on top.